This is one of the must-have god rolls for Destiny 2, the final shape. We're going to give you a complete breakdown of the perks on this weapon, where you can get it, and just exactly why it's so good, because ordinarily when you see a sidearm, you probably don't think a whole lot of it in Destiny 2, but these sidearms are a very unique archetype. They shoot special ammo and they do incredible damage to majors. If you didn't have the pleasure of getting a god roll, or at least a decent roll of the Indebted Kindness, and taking it into Onslaught or even Pantheon, you get this weapon, okay? Trust me when I say this. Once you have this in your hand, you're going to want to use this all the time, and you might very well need this when you're trying to do the final shape raid in that 48-hour raid race and trying to get your emblem perhaps. It's called the Call. And this thing is devastating. You can see right here, I'm taking it into the campaign, and all of the majors just basically get like one tapped by it. Of course, red bars are going to get one tapped by it because it's a special weapon. That wizard right there gets two tapped even through. Their shield is a really, really powerful sidearm. We're going to break down all of the perks and where to get it, okay? You're going to be exploring the Pale Heart, and that's where you're going to get random drops of it for you, and you can craft it, of course. And when you do craft it, you'll want to craft the god roll on it. And so let's give you a quick breakdown of some of these god roll perks, some of the ones that you're going to want to chase for. So in its right hand column, it has the perk One for All. So damaging 3 separate targets is going to give you a massive buff to damage, 35% for 10 seconds. That's going to be incredible, and something that you'll probably want on this, especially if you're going to craft it and you get the option to pick any perk in this column. In the other options in the right hand column, we got Desperate Measures, which is weapon final blows grant bonus damage, and then melee and grenade final blows grant a larger damage bonus that can stack, so you keep that in mind. And then we have Adrenaline Junkie, which is this weapon gains increased damage and handling for final blows with grenades or weapons. Also a good option. None of these are necessarily terrible options. Vorpal, not necessarily the worst option ever on a special ammo weapon. Usually not the best on a power weapon because it's only 10%. But on special weapons, you can see there it's 15%. And then we have Golden Tricorn. A little bit too difficult to set up Golden Tricorn, but does have a massive damage buff that comes with it. Multi-kill clip, also not necessarily the worst perk ever, but would require you to reload. Now, if you were previously using the Indebted Kindness that had Volt Shot, you're probably used to reloading quite a bit, so this could actually be pretty decent and not necessarily the worst perk. And then we have Hatchling, which we'll probably pass on that one overall, but it should be said that, you know, if you do clear the majors with this weapon, if it makes hatchlings and they go out and kill the red bars, it's actually not too bad of synergy. But overall, I'm probably going to pick One for All, but I will say that it is a tough choice in some ways because, you know, hitting those 3 targets is a little bit harder on a slower fire weapon. I usually prefer One for All on like fast fire weapons like SMGs and stuff like that. The like 900 RPM SMGs feels really good with this. Slow fire weapons not quite as enticing, but you know, you can pick whichever perk you like as well. It really doesn't matter that much. You could probably have the worst roll of this weapon and it still just does really excellent damage to majors, so keep that in mind. Now in the left hand column, we got Subsistence, which will allow you to not have to reload as much as you get those ad kills. We got Strategist, a new perk, which is final blows with this weapon are going to generate class ability energy for you, and activating your class ability briefly improves the weapon's stability. A decent perk, but not nearly as good as the next one, which is Lead from Gold. This one's one that we just use so much, especially when we're doing challenging content. We always want more ammo, and this archetype of weapon has some kind of like bug or is overtuned. And when you pick up a power break, it just gives you so much special ammo. It actually makes this perk almost OP, at least it did for Indebted Kindness. And we're able to just basically just have infinite special ammo. We're able to run double special in Onslaught, and that's why we're able to get really efficient, like 45-minute clears regularly of Legend Onslaught wave 50 clears, right? And so part of that secret was using a Lead from Gold Indebted Kindness, and the other one had Volt Shot on it. This one's going to have Lead from Gold and One for All. Then we also have the option of Slice here, which is casting a class ability, allows this weapon to sever targets on hit for a brief duration, up to a maximum number of targets, so not too bad. It could lower the damage output of those majors that you're shooting at. And then we have Beacon Rounds, which is going to add some tracking onto the weapon. I actually did like this when I first started using sidearm, but it's just so much nicer to have Lead from Gold, especially if you want to get really adventurous and start using double special. Demo is always a good perk here. And then lastly, we have Stats for All. So for the best roll, we're going with the Lead from Gold and One for All with our first impressions of this weapon. We got Tac Mag here in the magazine, so that way we get a boost to the mag, reload and stability, and quick launch. And then we're going with a reload speed masterwork for that 5 out of 5 crafted god roll. Now I've already gotten 2 frames because I've been roaming the Pale Heart, and just randomly it drops for you. So get out there and get to Roam in the Pale Heart, and be aware of the current error codes. I believe at the time of recording this video, Bungie has finally resolved it. It took them 12 hours, but now you should be able to get in game and actually get out there and grind and maybe get a god roll of this sidearm. I think it'll definitely be worth your time because this thing is a beast. I was really enjoying using this as I ran around. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the news in Destiny 2, and smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.